Hi, folks. Welcome back to Cordisco's Corner. I'm a little stumped. Maybe you guys can help me. I have pictures here of U.S. Congressional Representative Omar and U.S. Congressional Representative Cortez. I say that with all respect because they are sitting members of the U.S. Congress. And I don't take that away from them. I have to start out this video, and it's really dumb to have to do this, but I feel that I have to. This has nothing to do with their race. This has nothing to do with their gender. This has nothing to do with anything what they biologically are. Period. Maybe you can help me. I guess we'll start with U.S. Representative Omar. How can someone that came from Somalia, from basically nothing, less than nothing, come to the United States as a refugee? We take her in. She gets her citizenship. As a child, she gets an education. She goes to college, gets a college education, and then runs for the U.S. Congress, the House of Representatives, and wins. That itself isn't surprising. That's what America is. This is the part I'm stumped on, and maybe you can help me. How can someone that came from literally nothing, less than nothing, and in a fairly young age, become a member of the U.S. House of Representatives and then turns around and says what a horrible, crappy, racist country this is? It's built on lies, it's slavery, and the whole system sucks, and all it does is put down people. And here is a woman of Islamic faith, that's fine, good for her, non-white, that is now sitting in the House of Representatives. How is that possible that when she's sworn in, she turns to a mic and says, this country sucks, and we need to burn down the whole system? There is nowhere in the entire world where a person with that background could make it this far, except for the United States. Nowhere. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm neither. I don't know what goes through a person's head. She got the winning lottery ticket. Ask some of the people in Somalia what they think. It's incomprehensible to me. And maybe some of you out there can explain to me, where the hell does this come from? This mindset that she's got everything she ever wanted. My God, my God. There's tons of Americans that would love to be in her spot. Native-born Americans. I don't get it. Now we'll talk about U.S. Representative Cortez. U.S.-born, not a refugee, was working, as she says, as a waitress and a bartender, I believe in Queens. Ran against a long-time Democrat and beat him in the primary. Good for her. I give her all the credit in the world. Good for her. He let his guard down, thought she was a joke, and of course we all know in that district in New York, the Democrat primary is the general election, so that was the end of that. She's sworn in, and just like Representative Omar says how crappy this country is, how racist it is, how evil it is, and you can't get anywhere, a person of color, a woman, blah, blah, blah. So it sounds like the adults in Charlie Brown. Wah, 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 wah. Came from a middle-class family. I think upper middle class. We'll say middle class. But even still, a bartender and a waitress, and in less than 2 years, is a sitting member in the U.S. House of Representatives and has the exact same attitude as her colleague here, Representative Omar. I don't understand. Where does this come from? Is it just from being in college, drilling in their head? Do they get it in high school and middle school? Where does it come from? I hear all kinds of crazy stuff when I was a kid. It doesn't mean it occupied the way I think, my ideology. I made that up on my own. I didn't have to go to school to get that. I just don't understand. I just don't get it. Is it something in their backgrounds? Their backgrounds aren't similar at all. One's a natural-born American, middle-class family. One comes from Somalia. I'll bet when she came here as a refugee, she had nothing, less than nothing, and looked like no future. And these two are the shining example of how in America you can almost do anything. This is the only country on earth where you can come from nothing and do well and do great things. There's nowhere else. And what is their first thoughts? Just burn the whole thing down. I don't understand. I really and truly don't. In order for me to, I guess the question is, why is it important that I understand? Why is it important? Because this is the cancer that's eating away at our republic. This is the cancer that is causing great, great turmoil. I just don't understand. I wish I could articulate it better. But in order to help stop this in the future, my understanding is important. That way I can tell other people the understanding of how they think and more importantly, why they think this way. I'll never understand. It's amazing to me. It truly, truly is. Now, in the past, in the Democrat Party, there's always been a small percent, even here locally in upstate New York, there was a small percent that very much thought like this. And they were a fringe group at best. I was a local elected city council member from 2000 to 2007, the council president in 2006, as a Democrat. And there was always, Binghamton University is here, so we've always had the students coming out, the leftists, the progressives, but they were a small, very vocal, but small minority. And they were in the party, and they were more of an annoyance than anything else. But in the last, I would say, 10-odd years, they've taken over the party. Has the vacuum, has the Democrat Party finally just gave up? Or did a lot of the Democrats just wander off, become Republicans, don't run for public office at all, and then the space was filled in by these ultra progressive and leftists? They don't have any background that's similar, besides their sex, and besides their fact they're both very attractive women. I don't see a similarity at all, but they ended up in the same place. And it's very puzzling to me how this could happen. Now, who would really care? Normally, people live their lives the way they want to. That's the way the country's set up. But unfortunately, what's happening now is individuals like Representative Cortez and Representative Omar are actually in charge of things, important things, big things, huge things that affect hundreds of millions of people. And then they have that attitude. I just don't understand what's broken inside them. I really don't. I wish I had more experience. And I don't say this in a mean way. I mean this in a positive way. I wish I had more experience in the mental health field to begin to understand that I'm sure their backgrounds are not the same at all. Their personal experiences growing up, I'm sure, were not the same at all. But they ended up in the same place. That to me is a mystery, an absolute mystery. And if things happen on Election Day and former Vice President Biden is elected, these will become very important people for policy and laws that affect tens of millions of people. That should scare the hell out of everyone. That should scare everyone. Where does this come from? How does it start? I'll tell you the truth. I consider it almost a virus in a way, this progressivism and leftism, a virus that will cause much more harm to the American people than COVID-19. in the end. It will affect generations after generations in the future. Anybody out there maybe can help me understand where this comes from, where the source of it is, the real source, not the source we think it is, but the real source of this madness. And then maybe we can help stop it for the next generation. Frankly, I think people like this, maybe as they grow older and have more life experience, that they will come down a little bit, mellow out, as they say, and aren't so radical. But I'm not optimistic. Maybe we can stop the next generation from falling into the same trap, from catching the same political virus. Anyway, folks, I thought about this for a long time. The ungratefulness, the vindictiveness, it's just astounding to me. And I truly and truly don't understand. It's like giving your daughter on her 16th birthday a brand new Corvette, and she complains it's the wrong color. It's just astounding to me. These entitled brats, and now they are in charge of things. We need to get a handle on this, and we need to stop the next generation from being infected with this. Is it the culture? Is it social media? I don't know. I wish I had the answers. In fact, if I did have the answers, I'd write a book, go on all the talk shows, and make millions. But unfortunately, I don't. So maybe someone out there can explain it to me, because I am at a loss. Absolute loss. Anyway, folks, I wanted to get that off my chest because it's been bothering me for quite a while. And any of you out there can have any ideas, constructive ideas, not just slander. I don't have anything good to say about either of these young ladies, but I don't get vulgar or just be mean in general. I'm trying to understand. I really am, because the future of our republic is at stake. Anyway, folks, thanks for your time and thanks for your attention. And until next time, goodbye and good luck.